Oh, you guys, have you ever tried to make changes in your life, but then haven't been able to stick to them? Or are you tired of reading book after book after book and never implementing what they teach into your life? Or do you end up feeling like it's just one more thing you failed at? I know I've been there. And backed by popular demand today is the amazing Victoria Johnson, who is going to be here talking about all kinds of amazing things to help you overcome those obstacles. And to do that, and then some. I cannot wait for you guys to re-meet her. You guys, please, 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 this is going to be like off the charts amazing. That today is going to massively bless your life and your world. Please share this out with your friends and your family and your tribe. If you are watching us from any other platform other than the Erin Strayer Show, please go ahead and click the link above you in the text and come on over here so we can see you and we can say hello to you, shout you out, put your name on the screen, give you some goodness today. So it's not actually going to take you very long to realize why I've brought this lady back today, because she's brilliant, she's lovely, she's beautiful, she is so full of goodness, and she's going to give you some amazing, amazing insight today. So this is the Erin Strayer Show. This is where we are all about promoting, cultivating, and expanding amazing female entrepreneurs that are out there in the world doing things just a little bit differently. Oh, we talk about hot topics like New Year's resolutions and implementing things into our world. We talk about those pain points. We talk about giving you workarounds to the challenges that we as female entrepreneurs face every single day. Who am I? I'm Erin Strayer, and I am the founder of ErinStrayer.com and the Erin Strayer Show in recovering corporates and entrepreneurs. Hire me to get them business beyond the basics, because most of them are indecisive, they're held hostage by their own fear, and quite honestly, they are flat out complacent and have settled for average. We're going to talk about some of that today. So I help them move past the I can't do that. Who in the world do I talk to? What are my resources? What's my next step? Whatever that is standing in their way. And bottom line, I provide executive level accountability sessions so that you and your business get the attention to detail it deserves, and you continue excelling in your business the way it should be. Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys, I'm going to bring her up and I'm going to talk in front of her. This is Victoria Johnson, back for round two. She is 30 plus years as an entrepreneur, multiple franchise owner, author, international speaker, leadership training expert, and international certified business success coach, authorized and backed by Hay House Publishing. And the aha factor for you. Like your bio just goes on and on and on and on and on. And I'm so thrilled you're back with us. Thank you for coming back. Hi.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's so good. Like, I just love your essence. I love your vibe. I love like just the energy that you give off. And I am so excited for what's going on in your world, like right now. Like, seriously, we were just covering stats. Your latest book just launched. Do this, do that, and then some. Do that
Yes.
and then some.
Do
And
that and then some.
today's what, day 2 since it launched, and it's already hit number 1.
Yes, it's so exciting. So do that and then some, transform feelings of less than to more than enough. And we did a launch for 2 days. And during those 2 days, we hit number 1 in 4 different categories on Amazon. So super excited about that. Went to bed last night for the first time in 2 days and woke up this morning number 1 in 2 categories of all of Amazon throughout their paid books, which was so phenomenal and such a blessing. And I'm so grateful to all of my followers and people like you who help to support the book, because I think everyone can relate to feeling less than in some areas of their life. And really, my vision is to help people move forward to feeling like more than enough. And as you know, my background comes from the Louise Hay teaching and Wayne Dyer and other really great metaphysical and spiritual teachers. And so what I wanted to do with this book is just, bring it into really relatable language that people can just dive into and work through.
like, I'm so excited because you shared off screen that you've been moved to tears by the emails and the communication from people in the last 48 hours just about your book and how it's touched and changed and shifted their life.
Oh my gosh. It is the reason that I did this, and to have it happen and to have it happen on such a huge scale is amazing and mind-blowing, and I'm incredibly grateful. Um, when I get these emails that say things like, I feel like you were writing from my head, and these are the feelings that I felt, or I get the emails that say, I felt the exact same way and I was in such a dark place and I didn't know how to get out. Or I get another email that says, you've inspired me to create a vision board. Another email saying, I want to share this with my book club. There's 30 of us and we all can benefit from starting at the beginning and working through things from the inner child place onto the physical health, onto emotional well-being, spiritual well-being. It's just so incredibly touching.
Mm.
But, the theme of the book is we are all the same. So I don't know why any of this surprises me because we are all the same and we have all of the same emotions and all of the same feelings and needs. And so the fact that it has been so well received is just such a blessing in my life.
Mm. Mm. Why do you think it's so effective for these people?
I'm really thinking that a lot of it has to do with, number one, the relatability, and number two, the and then some factor. So the book do that and then some. The and then some is at the end of each chapter. There are actual and then some steps to help you to transform your life. So it's not just a reading book as far as facts goes, but it's a feeling book. When people work through the book, they're in touch with their own feelings and they can work through those emotions and they can work through anger and guilt and shame and fear. And so they have that positive outcome that they're looking for in their life.
So do you think that like there's a starting point to working through that?
Yes, absolutely. I did my best to avoid it.
Don't we all?
So I'm going to actually just
like stay in our muck, don't we? Like we know that there's ways that help us, but geez, that's going to be hard.
Yes, and so many of us have been doing spiritual growth work for 10, 20, 30 years, and it's like, oh my goodness, what do you mean I have to go back and look at the inner child? Right? So section 1 of the book is the inner child, and it really truly is the starting point. And as much as I would like to be able to say, as I'm sure many of you would, I've moved past that, I've healed all that, I've moved on from that. If it keeps showing up, it's not completely healed. And I found even with the writing of this book, so many things were showing up and there was so much that I had to work through. And so I can relate totally to what the reader is going through. Some of those things I didn't want to look at, and I didn't want to feel the emotion. I just wanted to put it back in its little box and leave it there. But what
you guys, seriously, if you're watching this live with us or you're catching the replay, like, have you ever shoved something back in the box and like put it back in the corner where you can't even find it, but you know it's there? But nobody else can see it. Like, yeah, all the stuff that goes in the closet, right? Like those closet skeletons that everybody talks about.
That's right. And they show up in different ways, so sometimes they'll show up as anger or depression or addiction. We may shove them in the closet all we want, but that doesn't mean they truly go away. And so I think that's one of the things that's made this book so relatable, is that people can work through the steps of bringing those things out. And, with the Louise Hay work that I teach, I often say it's simple, but it's not easy. And the same thing is true for working through the steps in this book and the workbook that goes with it. It's simple, but it's not easy. And so I would encourage, of course, the readers to take their time and really feel their feelings and deal with the emotions that come up. And I'm there with you every step of the way. I've been answering emails and Facebook messages just constantly for the last few days and will continue to do so. I'm
Mhm.
so appreciative to the people who reach out.
That's so cool. And I think it's so neat. I know I've downloaded it. I leave town next week and I need some travel reading material. And I'm really excited. Like I was really sad that I didn't have time to read it before today. But I'm really anxious to really dive into that and really because those of us that have done spiritual work for many years, more than just started, right? Like I know I'm way past my 10-year mark from when I started my journey. And this discovery of something else out there and this
Mhm.
discovery of another intel, right? Like we have this intel stream and every time you level up or go through that next bit of muck that's super overwhelming, it's like hard.
Yes.
It's really hard.
Yes. Yeah.
um, what do you think? What do you, now? I know what my personal ones are, but I'm interested from you being the expert in this area. Like, what do you think the top things are that people struggle with that come to you for coaching and help and guidance?
Sure. Okay. Well, let me just add to your what you're saying. Yes, it
Yeah.
is very hard, but it's worth it. And when we can take a look at things in a progression, say for example, let's just pick forgiveness,
Sure.
right? We can decide how. Pardon me.
Tough one.
Yeah, let's just dive right in,
Forgiveness
right?
of myself or other people. Isn't it all the
Oh,
same thing? But I don't know.
oh, so there's so many layers, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's so many layers. Um, so one of the things with the Heal Your Life workshops, with the Heal Your Life teacher training, and within this book is learning that forgiveness can be as hard or as difficult as you decide to make it. And so if you decide that forgiving your neighbor for, cutting down your tree is going to be something that takes you 20 years to get over, well, it's probably going to take you 20 years to get over it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whereas if you decide to have that forgiveness work through your own personal things, your feelings about it, your whether or not you ever address that issue, for example, with your neighbor, is completely beyond the point. But just knowing that you can make this as easy or as difficult as it needs to be. And trust me, there's been big, fat, huge things in my life that have needed forgiveness, as I know there is in other people's as well, every single day. But they are worth it to work through. So, some of the things you were asking about, what it is that comes up with clients for me, a lot of it is boiled down to us getting in our own way. We show up with, um, just an absolute 18-piece or more set of luggage. And, every once in a while, we'll be able to let a piece of carry-on go, right? And so just learning to identify when we are packing luggage, right? And then working through the steps to release it. I think so often we think that, or I know for me personally, I've thought that the issue hasn't actually been me. The issue has been someone else or a circumstance around something else. But the common denominator is always me. And so how I choose to respond to a situation, rather than just, quickly reacting from my previous experiences, changes everything. And that's probably the number one thing I work with clients is teaching them ways to identify their own personal patterns, baggage, hangups, whatever we want to call it, and moving from a place of being reactive to being responsive.
Mm. And that's so hard. Like even just that in itself, the switching your gear from a reactive, taking it total personal to a responsive. Oh my gosh, I acknowledge that my tree was over the property line, right? Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know.
Yeah.
Or, that it really was in your yard and my dog was using it every day and then your grass was dead. Right? Like whatever that looks like it's really interesting when you come at it from a responsive a responsive reaction instead of just a straight reaction. of
Right. Right.
what?
And
That's
one
my property. I can cut down whatever I want, right? Like, mm-hmm,
absolutely. And you know what it's like when we push, people push back,
mm-hmm,
right?
yeah.
And so recently I learned a way that helps to manage the feelings of it being so hard. When you mentioned about it being so hard to learn to be more responsive. And so there is a colleague of mine, her and her partner, so her name is Sneha and her partner is Shashank, and they're from India. And Sneha actually wrote the foreword to the book here. And she's a psychologist, and she came over to Canada here last October with her partners, Shashank, and taught a workshop on managing conflict. And so when I was at that workshop, I learned just an amazing little tool. And again, simple, not always easy. And that tool is to practice the pause.
Ooh.
Right? So if we go back to this off the top of my head example of cutting down a tree in the backyard, just practicing the pause. And that's one way how we can move from being reactive to responsive.
Somebody hashtag that. Plastic. Practice the pause. So
Yes.
what's that look like when we are in a situation? Can we role play for just a second? Like,
sure.
What
Okay.
are you doing cutting my tree down, Vicky? Come on.
Okay, well, first,
my property.
I think for me, how I would practice that pause would just be by backing off and saying, listen, here's the facts that I had. Maybe I need to look into things a little bit more and to hear where things are coming from your side. And can we resume this conversation in a couple of hours or tomorrow or, whatever it is that way. What is I'm just going to use this for an example, is email. I was triggered by an email the other day that came through, and I was I was actually down in the States and teaching a workshop down there, and I was in the middle of something. I was on a lunch break. This email come through. I look down, I read the email, and I'm like, no, and I'm like, like this, typing away on my phone, right? And then I practiced the pause. And I stopped and I was like, I don't actually need to respond to this email right now. And then as the day went by, and then the next day, I was like, I don't even need to respond to this email at all. It's okay. I can just leave it the way it is. And had I sent my initial response to that email, I would have created a snowball effect of more problems, more conflict, more back and forth and disagreement in my own life. Mm-hmm. And when I was able to just let it go, nothing but peace.
So good. It's so good. I know that a mentor in my world quite a few years ago used to call it the 24-hour rule. Like, take a breath. When stuff triggers you, gets you irritated, gets you on edge, pushes you over a little bit, take a step back and pause, as you call it, and sleep on it. Remember how my mom and dad used to, maybe you need to sleep on that, Erin, right?
Yeah.
It's all the same mentality, but I love the terminology of pausing.
Yes.
That just
whether it's seconds or hours.
That's all of who I am spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, to doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just take a step back or sleep on it or take a breath. Right?
Well, and we can get so derailed. We can be working on something or in a conversation with someone and then just become completely derailed. Mm-hmm. And let's learn that simple practice, the pause.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So when you were down in the States, were you doing a Heal Your Life training?
I was doing a Heal Your Life workshop. And it was, yes. So we also do Heal Your Life workshops in business, and those programs are called Managing with Heart and Mind. And so I was co-facilitating with another facilitator in Pennsylvania. Nice. And we had, I think, 58 participants. It was an amazing, super busy, loud, fun, emotional day. We went through a lot of things, but it was a beautiful experience. I'm so grateful to be able to travel in this work and travel promoting the book and just share love and light everywhere I go, and let people know it doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter what country you're from. We're all the same.
Isn't that the best? Isn't
It
that-
really is.
So, do you want to talk a little bit about the Heal Your Life training?
Sure. Yeah.
I want to talk some more about your book, but yeah,
Sure.
I know, I want, some people are kind of like, well, what's that? What's that Heal Your Life training? What is that?
Yes, well, I'm happy to share that with you. So the Heal Your Life program was initially introduced by Louise Hay. Oh, it's got to be close to 25 years ago now. She used to teach them herself, where she started off with like a 2-day workshop where she would work with people dealing with emotions, learning to leave things behind them, anger, guilt, fear, all of those things, working through forgiveness, learning about affirmations, creating a new story for your life, letting go of the past, breaking those patterns. And so what happened was that they just became so incredibly popular that she had to train teachers to teach them. So Dr. Patricia Crane out of San Diego is who she decided to have run the Heal Your Life workshop training when it became so large that she was no longer doing it. And Dr. Crane trained me, and I went and assisted her in the States a couple of times with trainings there. And then she invited me to be the teacher trainer for Canada, which is lovely and such an honor. And it is an internationally certified training. So people from all over the world come to the training here in Canada, which is amazing. And again, reinforces the we are all the same. Because it doesn't matter where people are from, we're all going through the same things and moving forward. And people leave the training as a certified Heal Your Life workshop trainer. Wow. And so they can take that training then and go forward and teach other people in the 2-day workshops. And so it is an amazing opportunity to help spread light in the world, help to heal the planet. Also as a business venture, right? Some people do it just for personal growth. Some people do it to start their own business, and some people do it to add another modality to what they're already teaching. And then I also teach the Heal Your Life life coach training as well. And so our next program starts March 30th here in Canada, in Calgary. The information is on the website there, thetraining.ca. People can also reach out to me by email. As I've said, I respond quickly. It's victoria@thetraining.ca. And I have a little surprise for people who are listening today. We have just literally just a handful of spots left in the training. And if you are one of Erin's followers and are reaching us through the show, I want to offer a discount to you on the training of $400. So that just mentioned the Erin Strayer Show, and that's not an advertised special. That is just for you here, and we will give you a discount on that training. And the training does include your hotel room and your food and manuals and all of the information to teach up to 14 different workshops. So that's all. You leave ready to go. Prepared.
An amazing one. What an amazing training. 2, what an amazing gift. Seriously, you guys, I don't know if you picked that up. It is just for the listeners on our show. There's only a couple left. I know that there are a lot of people that follow and have followed Louise Hay and her trainings and read her books and have their whole library of them, like I do, devout follower. But what an amazing thing to put into your wheelhouse, so that you can go and serve your people that much better and integrate those trainings and those mentalities and the mindset work that's done at those trainings into what you already do. It just seems like a win-win all the way around. And they get to spend time with you. Like, come on!
Oh, and the beautiful thing is it's such a blessing for me as well. I'm sure you've heard people say, oh, I learned so much when I was teaching. And that's how it is for me. These relationships that I've built with these amazing people from all over the world have made my heart just is warm when I think about it. It just makes me glow from the inside out.
I know, it's like there's not room.
Yes.
It's not room for the size of your heart when you come out of those, is there?
Yeah.
It's like your chest is like, okay, I'm getting bigger, but it doesn't seem like it's still big enough. And like
we just keep expanding.
And the power of that collective that's grown from that, and the connections that are made, and the relationships that are formed among the students, I'm sure, is just like forever.
It's so true. You know, in every opening circle, I say, look around because these people are going to be your new chosen family, right? They're your extended family. And people look around and I'm sure they think, yeah, right. And by the end of the first day, everyone's hugging and saying, I love you. So it's a beautiful, safe space to heal and to grow and to expand and to build relationships.
Yeah. So is all the information on the website, thetraining.ca?
It sure is.
Those dates
So
and everything like that.
you
So if
bet.
anybody's interested, that site is in the feed and it's also on the screen. Go there, figure it out, see if it fits in your schedule, make it work, shift things around, get a babysitter, all of the things. Because there's only a few spots left in that training for March, right?
Yes, that's right. Starts March 30th, and you absolutely deserve the time for you. So, you said it well. Clear your schedule and know that you'll be super focused while you're there, and it's a once in a lifetime experience. Absolutely beautiful.
It's so good. It's so good. Tell me one more time. Let's go back to your book, and because you guys, seriously, you need to get Victoria's book and her workbook and put it into your wheelhouse. You can grab it off of Amazon. It's there. We'll make sure the link's in the feed so you can just easily, quickly go to it. But take it away.
All right. So it is on Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.uk, a few other places as well. So the book, Do That and Then Some, Transform Feelings of Less Than to More Than Enough. At the end of each chapter in the book, there's 27 chapters, and at the end of each chapter, there are very specific action steps to be taken. And so as I was finishing the book, I realized that we really do need a workbook to go with it. So here is the workbook, and I'm going to try and position myself so you can kind of see what's happening here in the workbook. So there's lots of places for you to be I'm going the wrong way. Lots of places for you to be recording thoughts, exercises, and so on, and have everything in one concise place that you can work through. And what a great way to start the year, right? And and it covers all different aspects. So we start with inner child, we move from there into health, we move from there into relationships, we move from there into working within your passion and your purpose and identifying what that is in your life and goal setting. And then the last section is spirituality. So your spiritual life, your way, right? So not what somebody else is telling you to do or anything like that. It's just what it means to you and how to identify that. So it really is a book that goes from A to Z and covers all those different areas of your life, and a great way to start the new year. And I'm just so glad that people are loving it and that it's climbed to #1 on Amazon.
It's amazing and so well deserved. And seriously, people, I can't even tell you how amazing this woman is. First of all, I wish I wish I lived closer so I could actually just share an office with her. I adore her. I love everything about her. I love the energy that she exudes. I love her love for people, and I love her love for life and for how we get to be in the world. She truly exudes that, and then it comes forward in what she does. This is not your first book, is it?
It's not my first book. It is my first book for adults. Well, a little spoiler alert here. My children's book is actually a book for adults, but I get to them through the children. So this is my first real adult book, and just really thrilled to be sharing it.
So exciting. It's so exciting. You guys go ahead. We'll make sure the link is in the feed so you can just very quickly click on that and go get your copy. It will change your life. If you are part of our ShowBot test, the links are in the message that came for the show reminders. So you can just easily just click on that and go right directly into Amazon and get your copy from there as well. If you guys want to reach out and connect, and by all means give a review of the book once you got it to Victoria, I know that it will touch her soul at every cell in her body if you do that. So we love you. I love you. Me, myself, and I, we love you dearly.
Thank you. It's mutual. I love you too. I just want to say one more thing about the website before we sign off here. We've got on the screen free resources on victoriajohnson.org. So what that is in the book, I talk about affirmations. I talk about forgiveness and goal setting and so on. And there's the information in the workbook, but there's also free resources like free booklets on victoriajohnson.org that people can just download as additional information.
So giving. So gracious and so giving, and we so appreciate you and who you are in this world. And folks, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for coming back for round 2 on the Erin Strayer Show.
Thank you for having me.
#1 bestseller on Amazon. Go grab her book. We will make sure you have the links for that. If you guys have been here with us, thank you so much. If you want show reminders, just type live in the comments. We'll make sure you never miss another episode of these amazing female entrepreneurs that are out there shaking it up and doing things differently than everybody else. And we love that. So thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you right back here soon.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.